So Tom Brady was on his podcast, his Let's Go podcast, the GOAT. And he was talking about the other GOAT, Bill Belichick.
Okay.
And he's a little confused as to why Bill Belichick isn't manning the sidelines for a team this upcoming season.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't know the criteria for hiring these guys, for hiring coaches. I have never been a part of it. I mean, I'm surprised that the greatest coach ever doesn't have a job. Absolutely. But, I'm surprised a lot of things in the NFL. I'm surprised when I was a free agent, there was a lot of teams that didn't want me. I'm surprised that Steve Young started in the USFL and went to Tampa. I'm surprised that Tampa traded Steve Young to the 49ers. There's a lot of things that happen that, for one reason or another, don't go exactly the way you think they should go.
It's kind of.
I'm surprised they let Christian McCaffrey go in Carolina.
Think about Brett Favre. Brett Favre started in Atlanta.
Yes,
a lot
he
of people
did.
realize
Yes,
that.
he did.
The Falcons let go of Brett Favre.
Yes, they did.
I think, to his point, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were in very similar circumstances when they, in essence, became free agents. I mean, and largely because of their age.
Which
that's
is
what it was about.
Which is wild to think about because Brady had two teams interested in him when he was available?
2 or 3. I mean,
the Raiders.
The weird thing is, over the years, though, I mean, John Lynch has been public about, obviously this year, even calling him, seeing if he wanted to, play and start for them before the season. But in prior years, I mean, back when he was with the Patriots, he'd still pick up and make sure to give them a call and say, hey, we're hearing this, is he available? Nope. Okay. But at least made the call.
So why didn't he do it when he was available? He was there, right? He was.
That's the interesting thing is why didn't they make that happen when they could have?
Yeah.
I mean, even Kyle Shanahan, Peter King asked him, a week or so ago, hey, were you really serious about getting Tom Brady? And he said, yeah. He's all I was. I didn't know how Brock was going to return. I didn't know, he's in a sling. I had no idea how that was going to turn for us. And so, I kicked the tires to see whether or not he wanted to come back, which all I thought about was, wow, they must have been really out on Trey Lance if that was the case. That was even an option.
But also, I look at that and go, that's what I'd love to hear out of a good organization. Every single year, if you are trying to push the envelope of saying, how can we get better? We feel really good about maybe where we're at or the guys we've got on the roster, but can we get better? Can we get the greatest of all time? What can we do to try to find a way of winning a Super Bowl? I feel like San Francisco constantly has those conversations. I don't know that other organizations do.
I would say I still think that the fundamental difference between taking a Tom Brady and taking a Belichick is the power.
Right.
The power of it. You bring in a Bill Belichick, you're dealing with power in the front office.
Right.
Versus if you bring in Tom Brady still has to, in some way, right, and in essence has to conform to being a subordinate to the higher-ups in the office. That was not going to be the case with Bill Belichick. And I think people were, it was reported or it's been talked about, just intimidated by the idea of that type of presence coming through their doors, and how would that be received?
Well, plus he's a big man. So like we talked about
there
yesterday.
There you go. Well, he's got a hairy chest. He's got a very hairy chest.
Hold on, because what team?
His walk of shame,
what team did you say yesterday had an issue with Mike Vrabel's big body?
Big body. It was Atlanta.
Okay. What team was also talking to Bill Belichick?
It was Atlanta. Yeah.
I got news for you. If Bill Belichick walks in the door and says, "Yeah, I want to coach here, but it's got to be done under these terms," and you say, "Nah, we know better than you," get lost.
At what point? Can
you're
you
not
say
you're not in a position to dictate terms when you're a bad organization?
And that's the very curse of being who Bill Belichick is, because you're not going to be able to confidently say you're incorrect with what you're saying. You got to say, well, this is my job to tell you that I think that this is the best way, but I disagree with what it is that I disagree with you. That's not the way that it's supposed to be done.
Hey, by the way, underrated Belichick right there.
You get that Sith Lord voice coming your way. Ultimate power. You get that coming at you. You're going to be intimidated by that.
I think that decision too should be relatively easy. If you're an owner, right, or Arthur Blank in this case, wouldn't you look at all the guys in the room and go, hold on a second, we have a 3 to 2, 3, maybe 4 year window to have the greatest coach of all time come and coach our organization. if we don't do this, a year or two from now, I'm going to look back and go,
Why didn't I do this?
I regret this.
Yeah.
I regret the opportunity that I had and I didn't do anything with.
Oh, I think everybody's on a short leash there now. Because
I gotta
he
be
was
honest.
the lone guy who wanted Belichick.
I can't believe Jerry Jones didn't make the move. That's, to me, if you want to, my assessment, the most underrated miss is that you had an opportunity to bring Bill Belichick in.
Do you think Bill Belichick wanted to be there, though?
Maybe that. I mean, I don't know. I would have tried.
I
would have
I know
tried.
if you're Jerry, you would have. But if you're Bill Belichick, you're like,
Well, let it play out in the media. I tried to bring Bill Belichick in. Let it play out in the media because you got a lame duck coach right now anyway. So why not, with what you have and where you're at this point in time with your roster and thinking that this was a Super Bowl contending team this year, why not bring Bill Belichick in to put it over the top? Why not?
I'm not against it. I'm just saying I don't know that he would.
And now I feel like they were hedging their bets in Dallas because they wanted Dan Quinn to take over eventually. This is just me speculating.
By the way, well, go ahead.
And then they poached. He gets poached. Now you don't have it.
I do have what I feel like would be the perfect fit for Bill Belichick
What do we got?
this season, if he's not going to coach. All right.
What coaching box
So
would he be in?
who's coming to start
Perfect
calling
fit.
games? Who's coming to call games for Fox this year?
Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady.
And who's already on the pregame show?
Oh, Gronk.
And then isn't a guy who also won some Super Bowls there in New England with him, Julian Edelman?
Yeah.
What if Fox got back together?
right.
Belichick is what the whole group.
But Gronk and
New England
Belichick
West,
are-
baby.
New
I'm
England
in.
West
I'm in.
Coast.
Come
They
on
don't
down,
vibe
coach.
like that though, right?
No, I think they could, man. Well, I mean, one, they're not all going to be there at the same time. Like Gronk and Coach would be, Edelman would be, but just saying.
I mean, come on down, coach.
I mean,
Let's go.
you're already like, you're already waist deep in the pool, and the cool. You might as well just go into the water.
wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that play right there that you're watching that just took place. Well, let's just go to the next play.
Have you ever seen the breakdown stuff he does of like he talked about like Ed Reed, all that.
Oh, it's
It's
fantastic.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like
The
because
NFL film stuff on him.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it
the
is.
100-year anniversary,
Yeah,
and when
yeah,
we talked about like
LT.
every detail, plays that were made, that he had recall on Ed
Yeah.
Reed on all that stuff.
He said, you know, Coach, I got to tell you that LT was late to the meeting. And you know what Bill Belichick, or you know what Bill Parcells' response to me was? He said, why the hell did you start the meeting without LT there?
That's such a great line from Parcells, though.
So good.
Yeah,
Such a great line
LT.
from
I'm
Parcells.
interviewing LT today. LT wasn't
What
late.
up, LT?
LT wasn't late. Y'all-
LT's never
y'all-
late.
Y'all was just early.
Yeah.
You better wait for LT's ass to get into that meeting room.